Welcome to the Ingaged podcast, the show for business owners who want straight talk on technology, data, and the systems and solutions that keep their companies moving. Each episode tackles a real problem, maps out practical solutions, and delivers proven tactics you can use to choose the right tools and run a profitable business.
So Brett, thanks so much for joining me in the podcast studio here. Appreciate you spending the time away from the conference and spending time here. Tell me a little bit about your company and then how you landed in the home improvement space.
Gotcha. So yeah, I just started as the president in June for Destination Motivation. And so a lot of people might see us on LinkedIn or see the ads or whatever it is and think that we're some kind of vacation company or we're a rewards company. That's not it at all. We are literally a sales conversion tool and a tool to drastically reduce cancellations on the back end. So that's what we do. Now, of course, how we do that is through these incredible vacations, right? But the 2-second version is that if you think about COVID and what it did to society in general, we're strapped inside for 2 years, right? And then when we finally everything lifted, everyone's like, I'm out, I'm gone, right? And we all know because in the home improvement space, right? Like business shattering records, 21, 20, and then all of a sudden Memorial 22 hits, and the spigot just turns off because everyone's like, I'm gone, I'm Europe, I'm here, I'm there. Well, what we learned as a family, especially the parents, like we realized that time away, the time of vacations, that's the most critical time. That is the thing we don't want to give up, right? And so the reason why we're growing so fast is because we know the economy stuff right now, inflation is wild. And so when you walk around this show, everyone is telling me the exact same thing, which is our clients are getting more quotes now than they've ever gotten. Hands down. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, because a lot more comparative shopping, right? Yeah. They're just strapped and money is so tight.
So if I can save $1,000,
I'm going to do it.
$1,000.
So not only is it they're taking 3, 4, 5, 6 quotes, then they're also canceling 2 days later because they're getting the call back from the other one, like I'll do 500 less, and they're just taking it because money's tight, right? And so when these home improvement issues come up, a lot of times these aren't planned. Yeah, it's sometimes you're like, great, I want to do the new siding because it looks beautiful, but a lot of times like, oh, my AC broke, my roof got a hole in it, so now it's unplanned.
That's right.
So where's the money coming from? Fortunately, a lot of times it comes from the vacation fund. The average family of 4 is now saving $10,000 a year to put aside for vacation. So that's the funds that people are saving because they know that's how expensive travel is.
That's right.
And so it's like all we are is a leverage for these companies to use to say, hey, you don't have to give up your trip with your family, the thing you want to do more than anything, because you have this home improvement thing. You can do both. Right? And so we provide these vouchers where it's a 7-night cruise or a 7-night condo resort. It could be 1, 2, 3 bedrooms, 4,500 locations around the US, 106 countries, top 4 cruise lines. And this is no gimmicks. This is no timeshare, no hoops. We just surpassed 3,600 5-star reviews. Wow, which is wild. If for anyone who's collecting reviews, they know how crazy that is. But the reason is because we provide this value, which is it's not a free vacation. It's a voucher that we book with our concierge to save you anywhere from 50 to 80+% on any trip you're already going to take.
Interesting.
So if you own a home, like the stats are crazy, 92% of people will travel for a vacation. So they're already going anyway. So if you knew you were going to go on a trip, we're going to go to Disney World with the kids, whatever. We're going to drop, on our hotel for 7 days is going to be $3,000. Well, because they have the voucher and we help them book our concierge, they're going to pay $500.
You're aggregating a lot of the spend and giving people
on the lot. So that's the mentality. And it seems like this is such a no-brainer, and it is because what do people doing now? They're dropping price. So instead of being able to get a voucher from us for a really low cost, their first drop is $500,000. Yeah. And so owners are like, wait a minute. So instead of dropping $1,000, I can just do this thing, and the guest actually is more excited about it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Interesting. So the series that we're in on our podcast here is it's really about technology in business and how people think about that process of implementing technology. In your world, you're not implementing new technology, but you are implementing change within a home improvement business sales process. Right. So in my world with Ingaged, you build a presentation and now the sales team is using something different. So there's change. In your case, you're selling a product to a home improvement industry, home improvement business that introduces change. So I'd like to talk about that change management process. So as you think about, or you educate a home improvement business, how do you help them through that change management?
Yes.
Right. How do you help them think through it? Because I think a lot of people would see your product and say, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
With no thought of how do I make sure everybody's dialed in to actually make the most of this?
Totally. It's a great question, and I think this probably applies to so many business out there, but what we do, and we feel this is critical, right? Is so we'll talk to a client like here. I mean, we've been doing meetings all day. We've 9 new clients in a day. It's incredible. And the reality is that we tell everyone the same thing. The most important thing is our very next call is going to be before we do all the, back end onboarding, whatever it is, we actually get with the leadership team and especially someone from the sales team. And we get our national trainer, Corey, and, some other people from our team. And we basically work on scripting first. So we actually sit down with them to say, like, tell us your process. How do you sell? What is your, obviously what's your specific product, but like, what are you seeing in the home? When's your drops? When's your thing? And then we work with them saying like, all right, well, here's based on your industry, what we know works really well. And here's the quick lines, here's the quick drops. And we actually implement our little 2-minute pitch into their sales process.
Got it.
For their scripting, for their teams. And then because we know if we don't properly train, it's just going to fall apart, right? So that's like the critical element is like getting them first from the leadership perspective, because we don't want to come in and say, we know more than you do about your business. You're the experts. So you tell us, how are you doing it? Why are you so successful? How are you crushing it? And then we will tell you, this is the best way we think to interject us, because the most important part is we don't want, the sales team to ever be thinking like, I got to know about vacations or I got to know about like none of that. All you need to know is the little hook in the beginning to get them excited. And then the closing at the end. Oh, by the way, you've qualified for this incredible voucher. And let me tell you, and then that's it. And then we do everything else, right?
How often do you go into a business and they don't have a real defined sales process? How does it work when you go in and they're like, well, Jim wings it and Sally wings it and we close at about 20%.
That happens. It happens more than you think. And even some bigger clients, you're like, I would assume they've got something dialed and they're more like, and it's not from a bad perspective. I think a lot of owners have a mentality of like, they're like, let them roll. Like, however they do it. If they're like that, it works. So for that, we just basically say, like, okay, well, based on the success we've had in the past in industries like yours, here's what we think is the best strategy to do it. But ultimately a lot of it is, it becomes a little trial and error the first couple of weeks where, okay, we're here and, tweak. And at the end of the day, all it takes for each of those reps is like one great experience. And then they're like, oh, this was easy and this worked really well. Awesome. I'm in, and then we kind of go. But, it's crazy because obviously we're talking about technology. And so, yes, we're implementing a little bit of an add-on into the sales process, but we're also trying to integrate with their technology. So that's the thing. So Ingaged is a perfect example. Imagine this plug. You didn't ask me to do this, just so you guys know. But if companies have the ability, we plug in slides from Ingaged directly into their iPads.
That's right.
Right. So then it gets to a certain part of the process and it's like, oh, by the way, pops up, here's a page, so we've created ones where it's just very basic on, cruise or Connor, what does that mean? Click on it. We can, make that. So a big thing is that we're trying to always, which is I'm sure the same thing as you guys, we want to make this the lowest lift humanly possible for any client, right? Low lift, big value.
Anytime you disrupt what someone is doing, there's going to be fear, frustration, potentially anger, right? Hey man, I'm doing well. I'm closing, I'm meeting my targets. I'm actually able to take my family on a vacation this year because I'm doing well. And now you're going to come in and you're going to disrupt my process. Give me a new piece of technology. Time out. How much do you involve the sales team? I know you mentioned a little bit in that process. So in even the evaluation before they've signed on, how often do people get the sales team involved? And if it's not a lot, does it actually help if they do?
Yeah, well, it's a critical part. So that's why we were saying in that first meeting, like that's sales leadership always. Like that's because ultimately that, unless it's a real small company, maybe the owners, direct, but otherwise you get that level of like where they're directing the team every day. Make sure you got the buy-in that this makes sense. They really get it. They know it's not some gimmick or something. And then the critical part is when we do the trainings with the whole team, we train everybody. That's like our thing. We train everyone. And then, we always usually run contests. We run things to get them excited. But the big part is we're always asking for feedback, questions. Tell us your thing, and then our whole thing is, because I feel like a lot of companies that, roll things out, it's like, okay, you got the head boss to sign off on it. And now he's telling us to do this thing and then they get this thing and maybe they do a meeting and then it's like, never hear from you. Well, what we know is that like we do trains every 6 weeks in perpetuity. because of that. There's always new people, right? There's coming on board constantly.
New people, stakeholder changes.
But it's also the world is just evolving. So like our program consistently evolves. We're making new training every couple of months, just to new lingo, new thing, whatever it is, what's happening. Like right now, like even things that are happening in the economy right now, like it impacts how they're selling in the home. And if you find out, hey, this is a really cool new way, one of our clients is having a lot of success, so we're going to, sing that to everybody.
Yeah, it's interesting. A consistent cadence of continuing education is what I'm hearing. I wonder if that applies beyond destination motivation and really to any technology project, right? If you're not revisiting the original goals that you set, are you really making the most of the investment that you made?
Yeah.
Right. We see this all the time where people come and they've kind of lost their way. We're like, well, let's go back to the beginning. What was the original metric that you said we were going to try and move by doing an implementation of this technology?
Yeah.
And if we can't go back and see how we're measuring whether we've moved that or not, well, let's go back and let's make sure we have those measurements in place.
Absolutely.
Is it a training problem? Is it a content problem? Is it like all of those things? What's the metric that you're trying to drive with this, the solution, the change? So we're not talking about it. So it's technology, but it's not. It's you're trying to drive change.
Yeah.
What's the metric that measures success?
So it depends on the specifics of what the home improvement company is, whether like service or HVAC. But in home improvement, there's really three things that we drive. So the first one is obviously we always improve close rate, because it's this really cool thing that people love, clearly. So if you do it right, okay, you're gonna close more sales. The part that's wild is that we reduce cancellations at an incredible rate, because we do a couple things that are really unique. So our clients that signed in this year, we did an average, right? When they started with us, or before they started with us to once they launched the program. So our statistics are that we reduce cancels by 55.7%. which for a lot of our clients is millions of dollars. And you're probably thinking like, that can't be real. It's 100% real.
Even small business.
Even small business, it's all the dollars matter.
The dollars matter, but it's still going to be.
The reason why it works so well is because we, not the client, we call, not the company, sorry, we call the client 24 to 48 hours after the purchase, not the client. Because
you're the third.
We're the third part.
We're going to give you this thing.
And so all they had to say is like, oh, as soon as they sign their thing, right, you're going to get this awesome voucher. They're going to call you in 24 hours. So we call them 24 hours later. Hey, what's up from Destination Motivation? Oh, you bought from, Joe's whatever roofing. They're the best. We have a whole script. We validate how good they are. Then we ask them to tell us, why did they go with Joe's? We get a testimonial. We get their approval to actually use the testimonial. We send it to the company and we go, here, you can use in your marketing, whatever. They'll write 5-star reviews, cool testimonials. But then we have this other element that is game changer, which is called cancel save. So if anything on that call comes up, that's a red flag. Hey, to be honest, like we're still kind of checking. I think we got one more quote. We didn't like the financing and we're a little bit right. So we have this cancel save button for all of our concierge around the country. They'll click it. It'll go to whatever management team that each company dictates. And they're literally be like, hey, we just talked to, Joe, blah, blah. He's not sold. He's still looking. He's got another quote coming in. Da, da. Now they can proactively go and save the sale, which happens all the time. So when you make a purchase, the more you spend, as you know, the higher your buyer's remorse gets, right? Especially now. So especially when you're buying these things that you're supposed to, every person kind of knows, like, supposed to get 3 quotes or something, right? That's like drilled in our head. So maybe on the second quote, you fell in love with it, you got the vacation or whatever. Well, the idea is that the second that deal's done and they press enter, they get an email from us 3 seconds later. Congrats. We're going to call you in 48 hours. Go to this link and start looking at vacation places all over the world.
Oh my God.
So the idea is that so then while they're in the home and the rep's leaving, he's like, oh, by the way, you're already going to have an email from them. You should start looking at some of the places instead of just leaving. And they're going like, did we just spend $15,000 on this? Did we need the sidings with the roof? Did we? Okay. Right? Like that's the dialogue. And they go outside and their neighbor's like, I know a guy. What are you talking about? I know a guy that can do what. So instead they're like, where I could travel. So that's why we just crush on these returns. So anyways, to your point, close more sales, returns on the back end, our cancellations on the back end. And in the middle, because this program is so great, you don't have to drop. So we traditionally, we reduce discounts or we increase ticket, however you want to look at it. It's the thing. Drastically. Now, here's what's beautiful. This is the awesome part. So basically what we say for any new client, is we say, you don't even need to, I'm not even coming here and telling you, you've got 1,000 jobs a month, do all 1,000. I'm telling you, pick a market, right? Any market you want. And just say, all right, we're going to do DM on this market. Because for us, it's as easy as this. Did the job have it on it or did it not?
That's right.
It's the easiest KPIs to check ever because you're like, hey, either had it or it didn't. So if it had it, what's the KPIs? If it didn't, what's the KPIs? Compare.
Right.
That's all we do.
So it's super important to have KPIs. Anything. It's interesting. So I've been really thinking about technology, but this puts it in a higher kind of a meta level of change.
Yeah.
So if you're implementing change in your business, have a metric that you can very clearly say, yes or no, is it working or is it not working? Involve the people who that change is going to impact. If you do those two simple things, you really set yourself up for success.
100%. And I mean, and ultimately, I mean, I've, been doing a lot of things for a lot of years, but I would always say, an early mentor I had in mind, especially I started at a previous company. I was responsible for the final signature on any tech stacks that were coming in, and everyone's always going to tell you these amazing, they can do all these things. And no, I had a mentor like 10 years ago tell me like, at the end of the day, no matter what anyone tells you, it's like, you have to get them to commit to you. What's the KPI change going to be? And then you have to be just vigilant about tracking that KPI and seeing, is it actually working? And that's why so many companies end up with, if you go to a lot of these companies, you'll go and be like, show me your tech stack. They'll have 30 things on there. 10 of them they're not even using. They're not even tracking. They're like, I think it's working. I don't even know. It's like,
yeah,
that's step one.
Like, I think the third thing too that you mentioned is the amount that partner is going to invest in your success. Yeah. Right. So you think about what you're doing with helping home improvement companies in that training every 6 weeks, making sure everyone's up to date and integrating the sales team from the start. Is what is the investment from the partner the person you're partnering with whatever the change is, how invested are they in your success as well?
Definitely.
So yeah, you have a metric to track it. Yes, all the end users are bought in, but does the partner actually support you along that journey? That's number 3.
Totally.
Super important.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I was going to say, I think that's what's so beautiful about events like this, right? Because, and I'm new to the industry, right? So I'm just meeting, a lot I've been doing the last 3 days. I'm meeting a million people. I'm trying to put names, faces, company. But the cool thing is at an event like this, where there's so much camaraderie and there's so many relationships, I think that's the easy thing. I think that's why we're having success, because all we do is go like, well, who's your friends here? And they're like, oh, I work with, okay, we work with them. Ask them. Because I think with technology in general, in a place like this, it's like, that's the validation. Because that's what if I'm in the shoes where I'm buying some tech, I'm asking these friends going like, oh, you had them?
How was your experience?
What's your experience?
Exactly.
Did they actually do the training? Did they come out? Did they come out to the facility? They said, did they actually do it? Right? Because I'm with you. Like if someone says like, that part fell off, then I'm probably out, right? Because that's like, we know is the most critical part of any process, So yeah.
I have one tech question.
Yeah.
Before we go.
Landing.
What is your favorite personal tech tool that you're using right now?
In life?
In life.
Or in work?
Anything that you use technology to make your life better.
Oh man, that's a great question. So, I would say, and it's definitely unrelated to all of this. So sorry, I'm not going to say Engaged. You tried to pay me earlier.
Oh no, I would not. I would actually not allow you to say it.
Yeah. Okay, so Engaged is tip. So my son is an incredible journalist and a broadcasting journalist in high school, and he also does social media for 2 different a sports bar and a restaurant. It's rad. He's a 17-year-old. He's making money doing this stuff. So anyways, I got really involved with him, helping him video stuff, do jobs, and then do video editing. And now he's blown me away. But he, recently he got this new program called DaVinci Resolve that we would use in the house to color grade everything.
Oh yeah.
And so that became my new thing I'm geeking out on. It'd be like a Saturday night at like 12, and I'm sitting there like learning how to color grade things. And I'm like, this is how they make everything look cinematic or whatever, and like, right. And I'm not, not that I'm using it for anything, but it is mind-blowing how much you can tweak how something looks, and it's just incredible. I mean, the technology,
so cool.
Mental.
I love that it's you and your son, and you're learning from your son. Some of the times as dads, we're trying to be the mentor.
Yep.
But sometimes we need to be mentored.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
It's the first time that they kind of put you in your place on something. It's a little bizarre. You're like, wait, but then you realize like, oh no, it. I know. I've seen that. Brett, awesome
coming in.
No,
appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Engaged podcast. If today's conversation helped you level up your business, follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Know someone who'd benefit? Pass it along. While you're at it, drop us a review and visit Ingaged.io to learn how to create, share, and measure your way to success. Until next time.